Dr. Hold on, this is hold on, a neat solid edifice with a low square tower. The present church was built in 1772 with a grant from the famous Protestant Bishop of Derry, Frederick Hervey. During the 1730 to 1803, during the rectorship of Dr. William Chichester, 1743 to 1815, a descendant of the Lord Deputy, whose mother was Mary O'Neill of Shane's Castle. So his mother came from Shane's Castle, County Antrim. Dr. William Chichester and his mother are both buried in the adjoining graveyard. So his mother, who came from Shane's Castle, is buried in here. You'd never think that, would you? Shane's Castle's a long way from here, like. Other marked graves belong to local crossing landlords Henry McNeil of Binyon House, who died 1709, George Charlton of Roxton House, and O'Doherty family of the Glen House, the last patrons of the church. Oh, here for wonder. You do like history. You always mope about the place, but I know you like it. You've got a good old snuff around here too. Come on, up you go. The size of gate nut. Alright, that was the first size of gate this day. All this has been built here to keep animals out. Didn't work with you, Rollo. So I knew that this is probably all graves here. It is all graves. Where's the land? I'm sure it's full, but they don't know what's in it. There it is there with lands on it. You imagine them boys up in the soldiers coming down, it's all singing away. We're not trying to read everything. You need to come back and read everything. We're here. I wouldn't have guessed we were there. There's the gate. Look, we're up. There's the gate there. I'm not here. There's the door. See, they're trying to knock us off there. So if we were there, this must be meant for down there. They put the sign in the wrong place. No wonder folk get lost in Donegal. So that's the house your boy lived in for this church here. Oh, what a wine grave. 1918. Devonshire Regiment. Family never would have seen his grave. The only thing about him, the chances most of his body's in there. Outside all them graves over in France, there's very few bits of bodies there. So he died over here. He enlisted, he came from England, Oxfordshire. He enlisted in 1918 and soon after travelling to Ireland to join up with his unit, he became ill. Influenza and Spanish flu were common at that time. And he contracted it. He put into the fever hospital in Candona. 10 days in the hospital, passed away. Never seen the war. 1 month later. Battery ran done now. You should wait for yourselves there now. Youngest son came from England, got the coronavirus off its day and died. But there's a big difference between then and now. Back then they opened up a hospital just for the fever. If you had a broken leg, you didn't go to that hospital. It was just for that fever. Coronavirus. What about coronavirus? People aren't in normal hospitals. I think everything's at a standstill. And it's the same way TB. They open hospitals for TB. So whenever you had a problem, but you gotta know you've got to have a problem. It's not going to go away anytime soon. So maybe we should start saying about coronavirus hospitals and no longer start taking patients to normal hospitals. So Frank Little, if anybody knows who he is, he's got a proper big store. So that's all done for tourists here, you know. They've done all this here to let people know. Everybody is. That's your one from Shane's Castle there. So under this stone lies the remains of Mrs. Mary Chichester, wife of the Reverend. He was a Reverend, Arthur Chichester. Oh, so she was a daughter of Henry O'Neill, Esquire of Shane's Castle, and she married Arthur Chichester, who was a clergyman. So I'll tell you what, they were well related anyway, weren't they? She came from Shane's Castle. She would have been there on its heyday. What date was it? 1786. I think Shane's Castle was burned down as part of 1916, remember that time, you know. The thing is, you can actually read the writing. This one's got a plaque too. Under the stone lies the remain of Mrs. Catherine Ball, Samuel Ball, Esquire of Grouse Hall. So it sounds like a big house too. I suppose it has to be a big house of stone, I guess. And daughter to the Reverend Chichester, 49 years of age. So that means, if I'm right here, I'm not very good at family trees. This woman came from Shane's Castle. She was earning plenty of money. Married this Reverend. This Reverend might have been pretty poor up until she married a bit of money. And that's their daughter over there. Daughter died in 1799. Oh, what a history, well, wee bit of history. I'll tell you what, but I haven't seen a graveyard as handy to go around as this, like. No white gates and a handy open. Apart from the sign being in the wrong place. I wouldn't be surprised with a staircase going up here and you can walk up it, you know. Everything else is here. No, they must have a wee ladder. They must have a wee ladder in this day. There's not much. You can't even see where the staircase. There's the floor. You can see where the floor was. There must have been a wee ladder. All them boys in World War I were all singing away in here. You see it was all, it's all stone now, but you can see how it was all plastered in its day. And the photographs showed the wee windows and all in it. There's some wee tablet or something was on there. Somebody dedicated to something. You know, these things you always get stuck on church walls. This is the holiest up this one here. Stained glass window. Look, that's where the clergyman would have come in here. Come in here dressed in his robes and all. Oh, look at a wee fire somebody had. See, you was going, Mama, right there freezing cold. And he comes out in his robes, these big, thick, heavy robes. And everybody in there in their bare feet, like freezing. And he had a wee fire. Ah, this is the bits you don't see, like. They hide all this. Even today, you don't get into these wee places in churches. He had a wee fire in here, so he did, well. I with a wee chair and a wee table and all. Probably had a wee cross there at the window. So anybody trying to peek in is saying, oh, he's in there doing holy stuff. It's not there making toast. It's not about socks off and all, drying out the socks and getting a wee bit of toast. That is a wee bit interesting there. You see how the hole in the wall follows the arch. So that's the chimney of the fire up there. This arch is holding something up. The roof's away up there. You see where the roof was? What's the arch for? Maybe the arch is just holding up the part of the church. Maybe it's starting to buckle out. But like, this floor seems higher. It's hard to know. You don't actually see this. Is that the stone bottom? Is it? That's the stone bottom. That is the height there. Can you see anything up there? You mind him poking the fire and all, like. He had all his robes on him, like. He's all dressed up. He's getting. He's probably had your man who looked after the church. What do you call him? Church warden. He'd probably come on and light it. And the man came in his robes. He just had to sit down. in the chair and the fire already blazing for him. That's how it would have worked well. You wouldn't get him poking the fire with the robes on. All the boys beneath him, they had to do that. And he'd come up here, he'd be looking down, you're all going to hell. Just look at them. You know, I seen you the all day there. You in the bar, you're going to hell. They're all condemned. The only chance they have of salvation is to put the money in the wee collection box. Send the wee collection box around there, see if we can save some souls here. And the collection box will come down and you sort of give it a wee jingle. Just about enough, just about enough. I wonder did they have a wooden floor in this wall? Just sitting out here, would they have a wee wooden floor sitting on that? A wee bit warmer. Take the chill out of the feet. They wouldn't have a wee... But there's been a wee fire here for the church, and that arch was to take the chimney. So the church had a wee fire too. That whole arch there is just a chimney. There's a wee passage there for the chimney. Never seen that before there. So that's what I like about ruins. You know, normally you'd have a chimney like that going straight up. That would ruin the architecture. So I've never seen a chimney like that. I'm sure they're all over the place, but I have never seen one. Santa Claus wouldn't have come down this chimney pit. No. Christianity and Santa don't go together. St. Nicholas, that's as close as you get. There's another chimney bit, and that's the chimney for here. You see how they built the chimney? So there's the two chimney stacks up there. There you are, now that's how you done a chimney. A wee plastered wall and all like. See what I see there? That's a doorway. There's a lintel. See the line going down there? So a lot of churches will have doorways going into the wee chapel from outside. That's a doorway. Why did they brick up the doorway? And they plastered over it, try and hide it, but look, the wee cracks still showing in the plaster. There's the bottom stone there. That stone's different. So they bricked up that doorway. Well, we'll have to go to the other side and find out about that doorway. So all them boys in that camp are down here singing away. They'll go off to France and most of them will come back. They're probably all cuts and bruises and everything like without training. They'd probably just like coming down here to get the arse on a seat. This is a nice wee ruin, Ola. This is a nice wee ruin here. A lot of wee individual holes. Bricks just probably fell out. That's why funny that they fell out. There's one lying on the ground. Somebody's down here tidying up. Look, they put in brand new lintels there. Trying to save the wee thing. Oh, they know those tourists are going to come here, Ola. A bit of steel there. A wee bit of the original hinges. Somebody was going to carve the initials to put an E in. They must have been chased out before they got the cycle on it. On the board, somewhere. I'll have to go around now and find out now what this other one is. Oh, there's a couple of tombs around here, is it? These are the boys of money here now, like. Charlton's grave underneath this stone are deposited the remains of Frances Charlton, who died in the bloom of youth, 29 years old. She sustained a lingering and painful illness with the patience and fortitude of a Christian and entirely resigned to the will of God. So she had an illness and she died 29 years old. I'm sure she had lots of servants not run after. She wouldn't have lived to 29 if she had been born poor. Says the other one there died 55. Yeah, it took so long to build things in them days. Why do people even start to build when they're going to die so young? Like they built this tomb, it probably took 10 years to build the tomb. That's the gateway in there. So this is the original gateway into the graveyard. and they bricked it up. So you imagine all these people in these graves, they all came in this entrance. As I don't like about the public, why not just put a steel gate there? Have it permanently closed. Why the wall? They make bits up. And not everybody I know, and that was the gateway in. In 1855, that's easy to readable, that one. Put concrete there. And the one there loved the old. He departed his life the 14th of December 1823, age 78. That was old back then. 1823, like. Imagine life in 1823. And he died, so he was born in the 1700s. Let's get a wee drink. That there St. Coloumbas knee front there probably will. Oh, you're going to have spiritual powers now. Sixth of December 1829. His wife, 6th of December 1829, on her 80th birthday. 80th year. This bound to the virtues and piety. See, that's not a word I read very often. I look at it, piety. In remembrance of their children, Marjorie, wife of Dennis O'Doherty of London, who died the 1st of August 1820 on her 20th year. See, there's the rest of them didn't live so long. Dominic O'Doherty, 36 years old. You see, there's both Catholics and Protestants in the schoolyard. We didn't do very much history at school, but Henry is the one that done away with it. He was the one that got the Protestant church. So originally all these old buildings, you go back to 1500s or what, all the old churches would have all originally been chapels originally. And then they went to the churches. I don't think this one's old. What age? Does it give a date for that? Going by these old stones here, like, they're just stones. So there's plenty of stones around Donegal. Not a fine one in the field, trimming it in. $17.25, that one. July 1725. Head out the top and all, like, they knew how to do stuff back then, didn't they? Oh, wee skull, wee angel. Every one of these, all these churches, all these graves all have just big slabs of stone on them. There'd all be headstones sitting up, mostly slabs. Folk today couldn't afford to do that. But then, so back then, you just would take the mountain and grab a piece of stone and drag it in. The people with money, they got theirs made. See, there's something there, gentleman. And you all hear about gentlemen. We think gentlemen now is just men's toilets. A gentleman was a man who didn't have to work for his money. So he would have been something in the state or something like that. Memory of Dennis O'Donnell, gentleman, who departed his life. 78. His wife, only 45. 5 sons and 1 daughter. So gentleman is on his thing. He didn't have to work. He had that much money. He didn't have to work. Well, the other ones, it was just blacksmith, teacher. They all had profession. But gentleman didn't. So there's some columns in knee. That is knee there, I wonder. Some column kills, hand and knee. Some people got imagination, haven't they, like? Is that a holy grass there, Wallow? It helps your tummy anyway, you eat it. Doesn't matter, as long as it helps your tummy. Ah, they're probably all dressed in the black and all coming to church on a Sunday. Hats and all on them. The odd horse and carriage maybe turn up for these gentlemen. That gentleman, he wouldn't have come, he wouldn't have walked to church. So he's buried here. He must have lived pretty locally. I want to see with the old doorway going to that church. So there's something else too. You look at the church building, it's got this wee stone around the bottom. Shed the rain away. But it hasn't got it where your clergyman's wee room is. So that's been added on later. That's an extension. This stone here runs all the way around the bottom. So I guess to here. There's how they done damp-proof courses years ago. Put a bit of slate. So that's a damp-proof course. A bit of slate. You use felt now and all, like plastic. You put a wee bit of slate. I'd rise and damp would come up and wouldn't get through the slate. So I reckon there's a door out here now. So it comes here now, they've still got the slate, but what's the stop? That's sitting out further there, like. They've still got the slate there, but it's nothing to shed the water away. You need somebody who knows how to carve to do that. I run out of money by the time to do this. Look, you can't see the doorway. Hey, what's this here? Oh, look at that! Different coat. Different. I bought my winter coat. I had a torch. I had a torch, and the other coats. Doesn't matter. Oh, there's a torch. Whoa! Look at this! Whoa! Don't think very much is showing up in this GoPro. We vaulted ceiling. So that's just the extension there. So I wonder was this built for a wee burial place? It's in the graveyard at the end of the day, like. You could sell it as a burial place. I don't know if anybody's buried in there now, there's nothing to say. But a couple of fancy cut stones there at the bottom. Widen this beam out, that is widening. So they came and left over from another building. There's no foundations there. There's very little foundations in that. You always think inside these crypt things would be swankier than this, wouldn't you? You know what happens? I don't always shine the GoPro where I'm looking. And the GoPro doesn't always get pictures because I'm looking one way and the camera's pointing another. What do you think of this ball? What do you think of this? Somebody's put a bottle in there. Bag of Watsits. Not a big lot to see really well. It's not what it is, it's what it could have been. There's no sign of a door been on there. No big metal pins or nothing sticking out. So even when they're buried there, that was a building in the church. But that tree's a brave age there. So it's a long time since that building was up. There's our door. There's our door there. See the outline there? That's the door. And it was a proper pitched door too, so it was. So they must have wooden steps out here. So this, when I went over that wall, I just presumed it was a graveyard wall. Maybe it is. You know it is. It is a graveyard wall. It's not a building, it's just a wall. They just put a wall around their place. So that's the side of the church again. So there you go, well, that does the extension there. So if you knock that down now, them wee stones will go on through. Two big windows. Let's see. Oh, well, it likes it in here. Well, it likes it in here. See, there's no point in rushing, touring the place, if where you're at is exciting. But why did they not get buried in a wee tomb like that? Must have been good enough. See, you had to come and visit these people too. You come there, you can sit there beside the grave. If you're in there, you'll be sitting out here outside the door. I don't think the ground would be much lower than it is here now today. Alright. The ground always gets higher as you go on. But going by the height of them graves, they wouldn't have built the graves way high up in the air. Waller's up the mischief. What's Waller what? Where's Willow gone? Where is Willow gone? Willow! See that nice wee square stone there and the wee gap, just put wee bits and pieces in. And a big stone there, that's a lovely wee stone there. That was handy for the stonemason there. That was a handy wee stone there for the corner. Just fit it nicely like. But normally cornerstone are big thick things like that. That's why it's thin there. So you had to piece it in a wee bit. Nobody knows. What about plaster on it? I've lost Willow. Oh, we are Willow. I'll go to the other side. They must have put in wheat or something down here. Nothing wrong with them stones there. What's the matter, honey? Now, I ain't lost you. You're running wild. Running wild. That's just a wee steel reinforced bar and there must have held something at one time. I think that's it now, Will. That's what I've seen there. What did you actually call this place? The Monaghan Brothers, Catholic priest and Protestant minister. Yeah, I did both today. With the advance of Protestantism in Ireland in the 17th, that's what I was on about. With the advancement of Protestantism in Ireland in the 17th century, so that's 1600s, that's when it started. So that's the English coming over to London Day and stuff. So it hadn't started long before that. The organisation of the Catholic Church declined. Young men who wished to study for priesthood had to go to Catholic countries like in Europe. Monaghan Brothers, from name of all, I'm leaving out the names, I can't pronounce the names, were en route to the continent to begin their studies, but were shipwrecked off the English coast. Having been rescued, they were given the opportunity to study for established church, Protestant, in England, an offer which only Donegal accepted, thus became a Protestant minister. He was appointed rector in St. Coloumbas 1672. So he went to be a priest and ended up a Protestant. Like, it's like a job offer. You go to McDonald's and you end up working on Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's just the way it was. The older brother, he went down ahead to become a priest. So the one that became a Protestant, he got a nice big house built near the church. His impoverished brother lived more humbly in a thatched cabin across Connell. So the brother, who was a Catholic, had thousands of souls to look after, while the Protestant, he only had a few. Both died in 1711 and are buried here in unmarked graves. They were both very witty, and stories about them are still remembered. On one occasion, Domhnall was approaching his church when Peter, returning after having celebrated Sunday Mass, met him on the way. Domhnall is accosted. I see a name. I'm saying the names right. Dom, D-O-M-H-N-A-L-L. I don't know. Accosted him. Thus, one going over, the other coming back. Peter replied, "Not so. 'Tis one going up and the other going down." So that's the big house Waltham ended up. The thatched cottage has not been posted here. There's lots of history to read here. Best just take a photograph and return later. I'm more interested in buildings and stuff like that rather than individuals. So there's a list. Oh, so that's just the graves. That's the church from the back, but how long here? So that's the window and the wee priest part there. That's the wee window and the wee extension. See, it looks normal there, doesn't it? It looks... It's funny when you see the windows now, and it's just like any other church you see today. It's not even a stained glass window. And even back then, the graveyard's all rough. No lawnmowers. Well, we head on again now, well. How about this traffic here, Pat? Come on now, honey. How you doing? How you doing? Up we go, Wallow.